All right, we are live. The triumvirate.
Hello, everybody.
Meow, everybody. I'm Cantonese Cat.
Yay.
Hey,
I love the little ditty that you do.
the little ditty. What? No
You know,
ditty.
Hello,
What?
everybody. I'm Cantonese Cat.
the little jingle that I do.
I
Yeah,
love the jingle.
yeah. What's there not to love? Like that's the only reason why Mrs. Cat let me do this. It's because
Aw.
she's okay with the jingle.
I have a quick question. I don't know if maybe I shouldn't spoil the magic, but is it like pre-recorded and you just like tack it on at the end or press a button and play it?
So
Or do you
I pre-recorded. So it's a MIDI file that I synthesized.
Okay.
So it's like it's like a piano MIDI file, and I recorded it, and then I have it on my phone. So every single time when I play it, I just play that music and I just sing along with it, and they just immediately like talking, right afterwards. So yeah. So every single time when I sing is like authentic singing. It's right. Yeah. Every single
I
time.
always imagine like you've got your ukulele right with you, right? Every time. Just right, and then you put it down.
It's
like Mr. Rogers,
it's
like, taking the shoes off.
authenticity is what I want. When I say no homo, I mean it. So
It sounds very authentic.
Good evening, everybody. We're totally getting very seriously. We're totally strategized about how to. No, we didn't.
We were giggling like school children just a minute ago.
We've been talking about the everything rally for like months now. It's finally coming, actually. Yeah, but anyway, if you think about it, we did have a very, very strong rally ever since the 2-year yield has peaked around October 2023, and the 10-year yield also has peaked in October 2023, and that was the time when rates just kind of keep going up, yields kind of keep going up, and everybody says higher for longer. And then over the last year or so, it plummeted all the way down. 10-year plummeted all the way down from like 5% all the way to like 3.6%. And then all of a sudden the Fed cuts rates, and guess what happens? Well, yields just kind of went up. It's just kind of funny how things work, right? So but anyway, but let's look at where the bottom of the IWM is. First of all, IWM is the Russell 2000 index fund, represents the small caps. And I like to look at, you can also just look at like RUT, which is the symbol for Russell 2000. It's like, it's essentially the same, just kind of like SPY versus SPX. But the whole idea is, where did the IWM bottom? IWM is a very, very cyclical index. It's very sensitive to global liquidity, and it has all of these cycles that goes along with it. And whenever it goes down, it's been extremely brutal. Whenever it goes up, it can be extremely euphoric, and you know how much Matt likes euphoria. So yeah, Tracker too, but he's not. Yeah, he's yeah. Anyway,
I love it.
Yes, say it. You love it. So with all of this, basically comes into cycles. And what happens is that back in October 2023, when the stock market was extremely depressed, everybody was saying it's just going to keep going down lower. It was when the 2 and 10-year yield had topped, and that was the bottom around 160, right? And since then, we've had IWM gone up from 160 all the way to like 220s. And you still had a lot of pundits on CNBC is like, hey, Tom Lee, when is the IWM rally coming? It's already here. It already went up from like 160 to like the 220s. Like,
yeah, it's been rallying.
Yeah, it's been rallying. It's been forming higher highs and higher lows. And right now we're at a very important junction right now, which is the 0.786. Now, if I'm probably not like a qualified cat to talk about this, but we got an Elliott wave expert. We got another GENI expert here. So so you guys talk about these fit levels all the time. So 0.786 is a very important level, right?
It's crucial. It's a very bullish level. When you hit the 786 first, you go like, oh yes, it's doing the thing. It's running.
Yeah. So the hot chick is basically saying, just try a little bit harder. Just give me a little bit something here. Like I'm about to say yes. I'm okay. Just do something, right? And then the guy is like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, do I have money in my wallet? Oh, let me go back and grab some gold bars. Okay, I'm back. No, not yet. Okay, let me go back and grab my wallet. No, okay. Well, I got some crypto in my wallet from like 2010. So it's been trying to convince the girl to say yes at the 0.786. It just hasn't really been able to do that quite just yet. But it's been building up a lot of energy. Like all these wicks down here basically said that the guy has a lot of demand for the girl, and the girl is about to say yes.
May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go ahead and expand it back open a little bit more. Make it taller, and no, taller. The other way. I'm sorry.
Oh, you want to zoom in?
Shorter.
You want to zoom in?
I want more distance between the fibs. So look, so you got it right. You've got the 0% fib down there at the bottom, sort of like it's almost like a double bottom there.
Yeah.
Between 2022 and 2024, the beginning of 2024. Anyway, and then extends up. Now look at the price action. What it did was it couldn't quite make the 50%, but it definitely got over the 382 and then tested back. No, sorry, it got to 50% and got back to the 382 and then got to the 618 and then back down to the, that's enough right there. The 618 to the 382.
Yeah.
That we already did that. That is the first bit of the bullish first wave.
Yeah.
It's enough to propel the third wave. And after the 382 bottom, I look for the 1382 next. So we're only halfway there. Like we're stuck on the 786, but once we get past it, I look to the 1382, and I think that's my next target.
Yeah, I mean, it's enough to make kings and vagabonds. Like it's definitely getting ready for something big, right? Because it's really pushing.
Especially that crazy wick from that's the
August. Two crazy wicks,
right?
There were two crazy wicks. Like the guy was really trying to grab liquidity to try to like to show the girl, hey, I got it right here, But it's amazing, right? And then the same kind of morphology had appeared back in November 2020.
Hey, what was that fib level back then for November 2020?
Man, you're gonna make me draw.
Yeah, I want to see that fib. I want to see all of them. I want to see the comparison of all the fibs.
Oh shucks! Hey, guess what? It's 0.786.
What about the 2016? What's that one at?
Oh man, you're gonna make me draw again.
Come on, I want to see if it's so similar.
Wait, hang on, I suck at drawing.
Yeah, no, you're doing great.
At least you have a magnet. So.
Yeah, no.
Oh, is that the 786 again?
It's a 786 again.
Oh man,
no, 786. So guess what? Yeah, so guess it's a mystery, right? So all three guys, two guys in the cat here, are basically seeing something magical. We're hitting up against the 0.786, just like the time before that, right before November, just like the time before that, right before November. I guess what's going to happen next? Well, I don't know. Last time you got a dog candle, and the time after that you got a dog candle. So I wonder what's going to happen this time. Looks like there's some room to potentially run it to like 300, maybe a little bit higher, 3 teens, maybe. Yeah. I wonder if this is setting up to be the same thing. Especially if you look at the market symmetry here too, it looks pretty good. It looks very similar to over here where it kind of just broke above again horizontal. Like this is a monthly. I think I drew from the dot-com bubble burst. And this is 720 and 1. So this gives you a really beautiful market symmetry here, right? And each of the cycle really does seem like it's respecting the arc here, it's respecting these horizontals, respecting the angle up here almost perfectly, right? And we just got above the 0.618, which is also horizontal line of the GAN over here, building up a lot of energy, a lot of wicks underneath, couldn't break down. Guess what's going to go? It's trying to go up here, and the Bollinger Band is finally expanding enough for it to potentially happen. The crocodile, as Danny Chang would say, is opening its mouth with the lower Bollinger Band going down, upper Bollinger Band going up, and the tongue's kind of like blah, 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 it wants to just keep licking upside, kind of like it did over here, right? And then kind of like it did over here, right? Or I would even venture to say kind of like it did over here, right? Here you have this very similar scenario. Actually, let me see here about this. Now you got me all curious here. No, that's not the 0.786. Sorry, guys. But it broke above the 0.786, left the gap up right there back in 2013. Then that gap still hasn't been filled, right? So a lot of these kind of confluences, I can even show you another thing. I'll show you the Ichimoku cloud here. You had a bullish cross of the Tenkan and Kijun, and then you have a katana actually here. So it tells me it's probably going to go up a lot higher. And you have the separation here between the two, right? Last time that happened, you have a cross, you have separation between the two, you have the dog candle. The time before that, you have a cross here, separation between the two, a dog candle, right? So these things just keeps on happening. Here you have a separation between the two, and then 6 months later you get the dog candle. But it's pretty consistent. I think there is a potential, and I don't know if you guys want to talk about like seasonality. Maybe the market just wants certainty. Maybe it's just it doesn't really care who wins. Maybe there's something to do with the November election every 4 years. They just want to rally after that. It looks like it's setting up for that. So I think it's also very interesting too. Is if you look at the S&P 500, is running right into resistance right here at like the 1.618. And also at like again arc here, and you look at the QQQ, it's been running into the resistance here and the 1.618 here for a while now too, for like 4 months. It's been it back tested arc here, is trying to break through this level over here. I wonder what's going to happen. I don't know.
2618.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything though, so who knows? But yeah, why don't I hand it to you guys? Who wants to go? Anybody's got some market chart you guys want to show?
The similarities are beautiful, though.
The what? The similarities?
Yeah, they're so beautiful.
Yeah. You like market symmetry. Symmetry is like consideration of what beauty is, right? Which is what we like to do, like Fibonacci levels, because they're supposed to represent beauty. And yeah. So that's why all three of us should just get into a pillow fight in our whitey tighties. But anyway, with that said,
I can show my rut chart.
Yeah, please show your rut chart before I keep talking.
Rut row.
Rut around those tiny whiteys.
Ooh, beautiful.
Party.
So I've started showing this one a couple months back, I think, when it was like this long wick down or something back in August, and it's been closing every single month above this angle now for the past 4 months, ever since this bullish engulfing up 10%. So this is a beautiful setup for price to go higher, and we can just see that it's also on top of this level. And I made this comparison before. It's like this right here, right? It's at a level and above that angle, and it just shot up to the next level. So if it's any clue to what's going to happen, then it's going to go to 5,400, because it's happened multiple times, right? Even when it got above this level, it just went straight up to the next level. And then this last cycle that we saw here back in 2012, it looks pretty similar to how things are setting up here, with that got above the arc and the level, got above the arc and the level, and then it rode the angle up, and then it back tested the top, and it back tested the top. So there's so many similarities here that's what's happening now for the RUT, that it's basically just the beginning. And I said this before, it's just the beginning. We're like right here, right before it's ready to go higher. So we're basically the beginning stages of something beautiful. So yeah, I think this is going to be good for altcoins. It's going to be good for small caps, even growth stocks, like all of Cathie Wood, all of her stuff. Like almost every single one of them, except for ARKG, is looking so beautiful. So whoever hates Cathie Wood right now, they're gonna love her in the future, because her charts look really ready to go now. So that's what
or just keep hating her, because yeah.
I mean, I could go through all the ARKs and just show you how beautiful.
Actually, yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah, one of my folks send me a comment saying, "Hey, can you look into the levels of ARKK?" I'm like, I'm driving right now. I can't, but I'll get around to it if I can.
So, well, ARKK, all that matters here is this monthly Ichimoku. That's all that matters right there. It's just it hasn't happened before. Like being on top of both hasn't happened since it was bullish, like a long time ago, right? It like this, since the top, it has not happened. So this is a super bullish formation, and nothing else really matters except for being above both the conversion and the baseline for a couple months in a row. And we're getting some extension into this month as well, trying to get to these other upper levels. So this is super bullish for ARKK. ARKF.
Wait. Do me a favor. Don't leave ARKK yet.
Okay.
Pull a fib retracement from the bottom of 2023 all the way back to the top, the all-time high near over 150 back there. Just pull that retracement. Yeah, that one right there.
This one or this one?
No, the bottom one. Go to the
2022.
From the bottom to the top. Retrace it all the way back up.
From the bottom.
So I would say, like right off the bat, just looking at this.
Yeah.
It's gonna. Oh wait, no. Then you have to do with. I'm sorry. You have to do with hit the reverse button or just
Gotta
drag it.
flip it and reverse it. Throw my thing down.
Flip it and reverse it.
I know what you mean, Tracker. You just want to flip it around, do a
Yeah.
switch over. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's going to go for at least the 618. Probably the what is mine? Mine goes for the 764. You got 786. Yeah, that 702 line that you've got goes right to the top of your that Ichimoku cloud there. I'd say that's where it's going to be.
Yeah, minimum.
Targeting next. So right now it's hanging around the 236. It should go like, it's already done 382, 236. It's just going for the 618 next. 618 is the next target, and then if not, it'll go a little higher than that, like the 786.
There you had it. You heard it here first, everybody.
Yep.
It's going to $80 million.
It just wants to do all that research.
I did a GAN square, like a locks GAN square, like 360 and 1 from the 2016 bottom, and the symmetry was just like absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure you show it all the time. I'm still looking at them, like how the August candle push back to the angle and like hit the bottom of the arc. I'm like, ugh, yeah. So, and it found support. So it was amazing.
Oh no, Scarlett says she'll never touch any arcs. That's because you got burned. Like if you buy the top, of course. But now is not the time to hate it. And look at ARKF. Look at this. It's breaking a level right there. We're gonna go to the weekly chart here because it's not that much time. But look at that. It's breaking above a level. It's breaking above a fib level 2 and going higher. It's gonna go to 35, right? We can even look at ARKW and look at that. It's above an arc, above a fib, above an angle. Ooh. It wants to go higher.
Beautiful.
So gorgeous. ARKQ. Come on now. Like, look at this. It's the same situation, guys. It's
get out. That's awesome.
Above a 50%, above the arc, above the 45. Exactly the same. So almost all of them are so bullish, except for ARKG. But that's just lagging a little bit. So if you want to hate, never buy it again. I mean, you could be missing out on some nice gains because these charts are set up for something beautiful now. And
it's your Scarlett's chance to make it all back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I even like lost money from Voyager. Like we've all gone through bear markets, and we come back, we bounce back, we don't leave, and like we basically made more than what we lost, a while back. So. It doesn't matter. But yeah, if you want to buy Tesla, it makes sense. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. So
before it gets scrolled off the page, I just want to recognize that Build Wealth to Buy Freedom is here to troll us. Hi guys, I'm waiting for Tesla stock to go to 150 to reinvest. When will it happen?
let's skip Miso. We got Mary. We got Ben Chris. We got the usual suspect. Of course, Vivian's here. Jules here. So welcome. And let's keep talking nonsense here. What any other arc you want to show us?
I don't know. Did I miss any?
Why is Arc G different?
Why is Arc G so sad?
Yeah.
It's just because it's building a base.
Yeah, it's building a base. That's a good record. That's a good one.
It's I think the low's already in. I said the low was already in when it was sub 23 like a while ago. But yeah, it's just lagging behind. It's building a base. But it's gonna get there, and I have no doubt about that. So slowly but surely. But I don't even know anymore arcs off the top of my head. There's the Q, there's the W, there's the F, there's the K, there's the G. I think that's all of them.
That's enough. That's enough arc.
But you just saw all the arcs are super bullish now, guys. Like nobody can hate on her anymore because she's gonna outperform again, and people will love her. So people have short memories, and once they start making money again, it doesn't matter. So
yeah,
that's what we're talking about. I have a short memory.
You were what?
Who are we talking about? I have a short memory.
Oh. Yeah, I think by like maybe early 2026, people will love Cathie Wood again. So. Yeah.
But you can't hold buying tops of anything against anybody. Like that happened to a lot of people in crypto. Like people bought 70-cent Doge. You can't hate Doge because you bought it at 70 cents. It's still a little doggy. It's still a little cute little doggy. You gotta love it.
Oh, I love it. I've been talking about Doge for a very long time.
I bought Doge after you told me you bought Doge.
Nice.
Like, I'm gonna follow Cat.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, follow Cat by Doge. That's how it goes. Yeah.
I think I even
So-
converted some of my what do you call it? AI, Fetch. I converted a little bit of Fetch AI to Doge.
Nice. Very,
Yeah.
very nice.
I think they're gonna probably both do pretty well. But anyway, let's. Yeah, you got Tesla popped up here, so I'm guessing you're gonna want to talk about.
Oh my God, Tesla was so bearish today. It's like it went so far back. Should I
know.
sell it all?
Wait.
Why is Tesla bearish again now?
So, I mean, it went up 21, 22% last week, and it's down not even 4%. So I think it's time to panic.
Oh my God, 4%. I'm selling everything. I'm selling it all. It's the end of the world. It went back 4%.
Yeah.
I'm so sad right now that it's like close to 260. It's not even funny. I was a lot more excited when it was in the 2 teens.
No, I think Matt had it perfectly. He said, "Look, it is a perfect backtest of support."
Yeah, I mentioned this on Friday on my video recap. That's saying that it was at resistance, and the resistance that it was at was my angle right here. This angle sloping down, and it hit it perfectly, wicked above, and it got rejected. So this was an obvious resistance, and this is right now an obvious support zone. Now people are like, well, what about closing all these gaps below? What about going to 240, 236, to negative 500? I don't know. Like, could that happen? I guess it could, right? If there's like some really crazy election volatility or something, then maybe it'll come back and wick down there. But it's not a bearish situation at all. Like this chart, weekly and monthly, this monthly candle especially is super bullish. And if it closes in a couple days above this 258.15, then that'll be 2 months in a row above it. And they did close it above that for a reason last month. I was talking about that. Like the very last day, it was a Monday. They happened to close the candle right there above that. And sure enough, they're doing it again. So I think it is going to close above it this month. And if it does, 2 months in a row for continuation higher. So the next target would be the 290s above. But regardless of what happens this week or next week during the election, this setup is super, super bullish for the future, guys. It's just keeps on wicking through support. It keeps holding monthly support. It just looks better and better month over month. So I cannot be bearish on this at all, no matter what people say out there. I just love this chart, and I think it's just going to be pretty explosive fairly soon once it turns more bullish.
Now I see a cool comment from a Gene Hartney on the side here. Does this chart, is it the same as IWM? And I've got this thought, which is, the IWM is made of all these small caps, and they're constantly innovating, and it's cyclical, but I think about how Elon talks about Tesla this all the time. It's not just like one company; it's actually like dozens and dozens of little small companies inside of Tesla. They're all got their own projects and products that they're working on all the time. They're constantly innovating, and what we see like went from Tesla Automotive to like Tesla Energy, and now Tesla AI and Tesla Robotics. And what am I missing? I'm missing one in there. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, it's all these small companies that keep innovating and adding to the bottom line of the company. So in that way, I do kind of see Tesla runs closer to IWM in some ways than it would with, like, say, one of the larger S&P 500 concerns, like an Amazon or a Google or something like that.
Yeah, I actually had. I'm not going to show it because I had to dig it up. I actually had a chart to compare Tesla and IWM, and that's what, like, the point I was showing. Tesla is still a cyclical stock until proven otherwise. Just because the valuation is like higher than the market overall. Justifiably so. I would argue, but some people would argue it's not. But but it's very cyclical, and it's all very, very sensitive to liquidity. Just because of the nature, like, it's like energy, cars, innovation. Like, it's just very, very cyclical. So.
Yeah, and I see a question there that we skipped over about, like, do you think we have like another blow off top similar to 2021 or slower grind up? For me, I think since we are just in the beginning stages, I think this is going to last a long time, and I think Cat is getting more and more on that kind of.
Yeah, I'm on the slow grind camp, if you will.
Like slow jams, 98.
Yeah, yeah. I like to have see the market grind it slow, so people don't come in all at once.
Wow.
They
Like
just yeah.
like Keith Sweat kind of slow, or like what kind of slow are we talking
Well,
about?
you don't want to be like too euphoric, right? You want to just do a little tease and things like that by the window, and the people outside are like looking. Oh, this looks interesting, but maybe only like 5 people outside looking, and then eventually you want to progress into something that's a little bit heated, and then there might be 50 people out there. You don't want a whole crowd coming in all at once. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, this cycle seems slower to me, to be honest. And even right now, when Bitcoin is like 72,000, it's still not really that heated up in terms of euphoric sentiment. I mean, like people on X are like getting a little bit euphoric, but the majority of people really are not. So,
Well, this is just proof. It's just the beginning. Like it's right here. So it's not going to just end in February, because like February is like right here. Is it really going to just go in a few months to all-time highs, or like go up to? No, probably not. I mean, that'd be amazing if that happened, but I don't think so. So it's probably going to be a slow grind because it's just beginning.
yeah, I think the last time they really was trying to pump it in a hurry because they like the whales probably knew that quantitative tightening was coming, and they just wanted to front run it. So they ended up front running like Bitcoin or IWM or MSTR all the way in like early 2021. They were already started distribution like early 2021 when everybody was still like very euphoric throughout the entire year. So I don't really necessarily see that has to happen. I think it might be more of a slow grind, just based on the feel of the market. Like even right now, it's people are still worried about Tesla right now. Like I don't understand why you worry about it.
Yeah,
It's breaking out. It's breaking out of that
Yeah.
3-year consolidation triangle pattern. We're out,
Yeah.
folks. It's going.
Yeah,
It's just
this-
going as you can't see it because we're locked. We're like watching it from like hour to hour and minute to minute within days. You have to look at it over weeks, and it's just going to look like you look at the monthly chart in a few months from now, and it's going to look like just straight Marubozu candle that just goes straight up.
Yeah,
It's going
I
to be
mean,
glorious.
you can kind of see it when you draw like this, how it's holding support very, very well here, and it just wants to go higher. So, but yeah, just all that doom and gloom out there that I see, even when it's down just a couple points, like some people are blaming Cathie Wood for selling 120,000 shares of Tesla. It's called rebalancing, guys. She has to do it because otherwise, she wants her Tesla position being 80%. I mean, she's not Danny, so yeah. she has to follow her own set of rules. She has to rebalance. So
All right,
I just think
let's do.
Kat had a chart, right?
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to do the 2-week Ichimoku update.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the 2-week chart here. It's the Ichimoku cloud, and ever since it kind of broke down underneath the 2-week Ichimoku cloud here back in October 2022, it's been serving as resistance, right? Many times over and over again. Both the top of the cloud can be resistance, the bottom of the cloud can be resistance. It's just been serving as rejection here for like 2 years now. Over here, you're starting to kind of trying to challenge the top of the cloud here once, twice, 3 times, and right now we're challenging the top of the cloud here the 4th time. The cloud is getting a little bit thinner. It's also getting a little bit lower. So I think that if
we're also a bit higher than the cloud this time.
Yeah,
it was wicks before.
Yeah,
but now we have some body.
Yeah, we got some body right here. I mean, we did have some body up here too, but right now we really got some body up here. And this is a bullish engulfing so far, right? Which is, I think, the first time we really had, like a bullish engulfing when we were challenging the 2-week here. So this candle is going to close by Friday, so we still have 3 days. As long as if we were able to break above 252.24, then you're really talking about you're flipping something as from resistance potentially as support, right? If we're able to close this and maybe even kind of back test, around like the low 250s, then I really think that because how long this has served as resistance, and we were able to flip that from resistance to support, then I think that Tesla is going to run. I'm still watching this. I think it's probably going to work out just based on everything I'm seeing, looking at this. Like they already did everything that they have to do to grab liquidity. I don't see it necessarily have to go down lower. So
Yeah, I forget. I keep getting the question. Is it going to be able to break out over 271 before the election, or does it have to wait till after the election? And a week ago, I was thinking it could break out at 271 and like go to 300 before the election. Maybe it'll be stuck under 300. But now, just seeing how this last week has played out, it looks like we are stuck under 271 until after next week's elections are concluded. Is my opinion on that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like if you're trading the small moves of Tesla, it's really hard for me to say for sure. All I know is I think, well, I don't know for sure, but I think November is probably going to be the month that it probably would end up breaking above the monthly Ichimoku cloud. This October wick right here is no joke. It basically just back tested the bottom of the cloud almost perfectly.
October 5th, folks.
Yeah.
Remember October 5th?
Yeah.
That was it right there.
Yeah,
like
a
few days into October, and
Yeah.
we were so excited about the end of September. It's like, look, it's going, everything's going to be great, and then October 5th, bam, all the way back to the beginning of that candle.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something to behold if IWM breaks has like a dog candle and breaks to all-time highs. I think Tesla has a good chance to break about the monthly Ichimoku cloud. If it hits like 300, you're gonna have some resistance there. But like right now, I'm looking at the 270s, just like you're saying. I don't know. I don't care what election's going to do. I have like a longer horizon than that. But Tracker, you want to show your chart and kind of tell us what you're thinking? Or?
Well, I like your chart better. Everyone just makes fun of my charts.
I mean, like it is a little bit dirty and hairy, but it's not bad.
All right, here's my Tesla charts loading.
It does the job. It keeps a lot of people satisfied and happy.
All right, actually, just should do. This is right. All right, so
yeah, your chart can go all night long too, because you leave your stream up.
Oh yeah, Tracker can go for hours. Like there's no question about it.
Oh, nice. Let's see. So from 2021 to 2022, we had this consolidation triangle that was like brutal and awful, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, is it going to go back to like, well, back then the prices were different, right? But we just thought, oh, it's going to go back to here and all the way back down, knocked down to there. But no, it almost double bottomed at this level around 180, and then it finally broke out of this resistance trend, and it took off, ran up to 414.50, and then spent the next 3 years doing this, and then whoa, here we go, woohoo, and then nope, this, and I called this bottom 138.80, and then it built a new triangle which is hidden under all these things here. I don't need this. I don't need this anymore. Let's get rid of some of these things. So yeah, then we just had this awful island reversal pattern that it made. Look, it made it right on top of the 3 year consolidation resistance trend line. It did that island reversal right here. Like I didn't think it was going to have to go back there, but it did it. Oh my God! And then, but now we're done, and these gaps probably never get filled because they're complementary. These price gaps are complemented by this price gap up here. That's why they call it an island reversal. It gets left behind like a barrier island. And we're up here now in this whole new pattern, and we are on top of, this is the 2-week Ichimoku cloud that Cat turned us all onto. And what I did was I hand traced it so I could see it on any time scale. Like this is the daily time scale. And look, these daily candle wicks, we got it in an engulfing candle that got out of the 2-week Ichimoku cloud. And now maybe it'll test back and touch it again to 252.41, but it doesn't have to. I think once the election is just done as a bottleneck for price action, it will release the floodgates and let this start to move again. And my first, litmus test is 290.13. Oops, because 290.13 is this 76.4 fib extension off of the 101 low to the 300 high and back to the 138.80 low. So it's a wave start here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. A wave start here at the, no, that's not it either. Gosh, get lost in this thing. Here's the wave start at the 101 low. And then wave 1 is 300, 299.29. Then wave 2 is all the way back down to 138.80. And that gives us Fibonacci extensions that are in purple on this chart. So, we got right back over the 382, went up to the 618, came back down. And this is sort of like an extended wider flat of the move. But now finally we are getting, sorry about all this stuff in the middle. Let me just hide this. You are in the way. Where's my little hide button? All right, anyway.
You can do it.
I could do it. So, yeah, the 76.4 is up here at 290.13. Now, typically, after I move to the 764, there'll be some sort of retrace. Sometimes it gets really deep, back to the 382, but we don't have to see that this time. It could simply go 764, 618, and then we're off to the races, or maybe even the 50% line. That's what I've got. If price stops at 290.13 and starts reversing down, then I'll be looking for this pattern where it goes 1, 2, down to either the 618 or the 50% level. So that's either 261 or 237. And then after that, it just lifts off. And then we head for the 1. Well, depending on where it goes. If it goes to the 618 here, it'll probably go to the 1,618 next. But this chart says if we go to the 50%, then it goes to the 150%. So that's 435.91 right there. So we get above the 417, or I'm sorry, the 414.50 previous all-time high. Test back down to the 100% level, 336, and then on up to the maybe the 2618. I've got 238 or 610. It could even go to the 2618. You're at 657. And that's only if price turns down at 291. And there's no guarantee that will happen. That's why I've got 3 different paths on this chart down here. If 291 is just ignored or, sort of subtly cast aside and it just keeps going, well, then the next path has 417 would be the resistance. We'd make a slightly higher high than the all-time high, then test back down to about 260 before it goes on to, ultimately this one goes to like 1,000. I mean, Tesla's going to go up to 1,000 no matter which path it takes, but this one's just a more direct path. This is like taking the elevator up 1,085. Or then there's a third one, which is it just does an ABC correction, which is kind of a weird way to think about it because a correction is usually a price you're trying to get back to an all-time high. But this is actually, it behaves like a correction, but it just it's like being trebucheted really far and really fast. And in that case, it doesn't stop at any of these places along the way. It goes straight for 710.59 before we get another. At the end of this, we get another triangle like these two. It'll do.
Ooh.
I do.
That's the downside of that one.
I do enjoy how even the stock is pulling back on the day-to-day basis, that there still is no retail buying. So it's still 0% that I see on your screen. I do enjoy that fact. And that's just more conviction for me that they're going to get left behind, that they're, it's going to go lower. So I'll buy lower. Then it goes lower. Oh, I'll wait. And then they'll keep waiting for 300.
Yeah. It's early. The prices are in the way here, but
yeah.
I've been very active messing with this chart. But yeah, look here on the weekly chart, 66% bankers and whales and no retail for the last 2 weeks. No retail at all.
Yeah, their earning call was great. I mean, but I think the whales already knew that a few quarters ago. When people were talking trash about margin, talking trash about all the numbers, the whales already knew that it's a cyclical stock. The numbers going to turn around, and sure enough, it did.
Yep.
So
I had a feeling no matter what he said on the earnings call, it was going to go up next. Just a perfect, nice little back test to the top of this resistance trend line.
Yeah. Do you think it matters who wins the election?
No, I think I've been pretty clear about that. It doesn't matter who wins the election. The everything rally, which I want to give credit to Matt and Kat for coining that term. That's not my term. That's their term. And I've been spreading it like wildfire. The everything rally is already here. It's already begun. It's already pre-programmed in. We just have to get over this little, speed hump of next week, and then away we can go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tesla's just going to become, Matt's got a Tesla chart on his GAN that just goes up to like what 8,000 or something like that. It keeps going. It's going to be the world's most valuable company. What by the time it gets up here, 674, that should be a market cap bigger than Apple, and then it just keeps snowballing after that because it's not one company, it's not a car company, it's all these other little companies. They can make anything they want. They're just staffed with like the world's best engineering minds solving all the engineering problems. Did you guys see the little thing? They had the commercial for the Cybercab that they put out today or yesterday,
No.
and it shows the ride hailing app, and somebody zoomed in on the ride hailing app, and it says, your Tesla Airlines reservation is ready or something like that. So they're like hinting that they're gonna disrupt air travel next.
Is it going to be electric planes? Wow.
Electric planes. No, we can totally do that.
Or the
Wow.
Hyperloop. I mean, I would be down with the Hyperloop.
Yeah.
I'd be down with electric planes. Hyperloop would be really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, but then you got to dig all those tunnels or build all the above ground stuff. Planes are just like air everywhere. Planes are pretty easy. That's the only reason why like flying cars are so hard to. They're so awful, kind of, because there's no way to make them not super noisy. Like you've had a helicopter go over your house before, right? Now imagine like 1,000 helicopters going over your house all the time. That would be like flying car traffic would be like. Just too damn loud.
All right, Traeger. Let's get back to the charts, man.
All right.
It's like Matt.
You damn kids, get off my lawn with your.
Everybody has their Achilles heel. For Matt is XRP. For you is like.
Wait, XRP. Hold on, I got a chart for that.
You just can't shut up about it.
It's stuck. We don't need a chart for XRP. It's just stuck.
Yeah.
Luckily, someone's asking about coin. Is it going to go? We got earnings coming up for coin. Is it going to go up or down?
Yeah.
I think it's going up.
Yeah.
I think it's going up because look, Bitcoin. Or it doesn't even matter if Bitcoin goes up or down. It doesn't matter. More people are interested in Bitcoin, right? So more people are trading it. And how does Coinbase make their money? They make their money on the fees, not because Bitcoin goes up, but because more people are trading Bitcoin, so they get more fees. And coin. We think coin is going to be a great play for going up and up and up and up. I don't know if earnings be catalyst for anything. It'd be really cool if it was. Maybe when is this? Is this October 30th? So before the election. My target for Coinbase is 366.66 next. And that's just because that's unless it goes to an extended wider flat, which I don't know why it would, but extended wider flat is like we already had the 1, 2, and then this is the wave 3 sub 1 sub 2, and if the wave 3 sub 2 started to go into the wave 3 but then fell back down again and didn't make a lower low than this 2 and then started to go up, that would be the delay version of this, but I still see it going to 366.66 next. And then that's why we've all been jumping into CONL, which is the Granite Shares 2x long version of Coin Daily ETF. And then Matt, you were asking Cat, or was it Cat asking Matt? Cat was asking Matt.
Cat, how long is he going to hold it? Yeah.
Yeah, how are you going to hold your CONL?
First of all, I like Harvard better than Cornell.
But, no. CONL.
Oh, CONL. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It really depends. Like I think I still hold TQQs from like June of 2022. So if I see even if I see like a few down months and if it goes down like 30-40%, I don't care. A lot of people may not feel that way. So a lot of people want to trade in and out. And these are financial instruments you're supposed to trade in and out anyway. But for me, when I see that this might be a beginning of something big, and I still think that it's been going sideways and down for so long, it looks like it might be about to have a breakout when altcoins look like they might be about to have a breakout. You can see it with Doge. I honestly just think that this is going to end up outperform just holding coin. And what I'm saying about that, I'm still holding majority of my share are still like regular coin shares. I'm only doing maybe like 25% Cornell. and then 75% Harvard. So I'm still
I thought it sounded like you were saying Cornell.
So I'm still like, you know, relatively conservative, right? But I do want that little little gain, you know, that
little extra.
yeah.
Let me show you how this is. It beautifully did from the coin's all-time high to the all-time low. It did do a perfect 618% retrace back to this high right here, and then consolidated back to the 29% level, and now is making its way back up. And that's our 1-2.
Yeah.
Where our wave bottom, my first wave 1, wave 2, and then this crazy wave 3 sub 1 way up here sub 2, and you know because this distance is so long, this is 100% of that distance for the wave 1 of 3 back to the 236, which is why I'm looking for 1618 neck. Usually I would go for if it went 236, I go 1236, but I'm going to give this the benefit of the whole 1618 extension. And this is really cool. I just did this morning in the show with Matt. I checked this out, and so where from coin is right now, or where it was this morning, it was at about 70% gain left to go from here to the top of wave 3. Now look at Con L, and I swear I drew these completely independent of each other. I mean, obviously one's based on the other or whatnot, but you know, I didn't draw coin and then say, I'm going to look and see what coin does to draw Con L. No, I drew Con L just based on here's the wave start, here's the wave 1 and wave 2, and then its target is $83, which is, let's see, what is double 70? It's 140, right? So here's a 140% move. Boom, right there to the 764. I didn't make that up. That's just how it mathed out all on its own. I discovered it. I didn't invent it. So
Yeah,
confluence right there with the predicted move I've got.
It's kind of crazy the leverage that you play if it makes a big move, which I think it should. But yeah.
Let's see your chart then, Cat.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I was going to call.
Well, I do want to report one thing, which is I got a little tricky with it. Maybe it's dumb, but I rode the Con L up, and then I sold off some today, just in case it comes back and tests back down to like 34.50 one more time, and then I'll buy some more tomorrow. This is what I'm worried about. Like, what if it does this and then does one of these things? Oh no, it's because of Bitcoin. I'm sorry. I don't mean to hog the show here, but I just had a whole bunch of ideas that I was looking at, and this is the thing I was thinking about with Bitcoin. My 15-minute chart. Yeah, it went to this 2618 here. This is not the right chart. I'm sorry. Let me go over here. It's this one right here. So it went up to this 74,000 level, almost 73.9. It came up shy. It wouldn't actually touch it, and it already started to come back. If it doesn't come back and hit it perfectly, I think it might be front running the action. Like, it doesn't want to test this before next week's election results. So I think it might come back possibly to test the top of this. Once again, it's a descending resistance line, and so maybe, not for certain, it comes back and touches 68,063, or maybe just right here, 68,570. So I sold some of my Con L with the anticipation of a possible opportunity to buy it back right here, maybe just before the election. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. That was everything I wanted to say about that.
Hello.
Hello. Go ahead, Kat. You want to show your chart?
Yeah. So are you bullish or bearish? Just looking at this structure, you don't need any indicators.
I need a cup of tea. Of tea.
I think this is like a cup here, and maybe this is like a little tiny little handle here. Like, if you're into like whole formation kind of thing, like this is you don't need any indicators here. But if you do, you can put up the Ichimoku cloud here. What did it do? Well, it broke through the cloud here, and it's just doing a little bit of back test here on the weekly. That's kind of what it did.
And it's above.
Yeah, and it's above the cloud right now. And last week, you had an inside candle over here to this big giant green candle. And it looks like price kind of want to go up, doesn't it? what happened last week. Everybody was like, I don't know about Coinbase, and I was like, I'm buying Coinbase. Like that's what I was. That's my vibe last week, where I was just like, I'm buying. Why am I buying? Well, I mean, I see things pushing up. I see it coming back down to test support. And if you weren't sure, if you don't want to catch a falling knife, I think the second best place to buy would be like right here, and this is like the third best place to buy here, you know, or maybe the fourth best place to buy is if earnings sucks and it goes back to the 160s. I doubt it, but it really looks like it's changing character. It really looks like the buying volume is really picking up. And last week we had an inside candle, and this week it really looks like it wants to challenge its high over here. It's back tested the bull market support band that was flattening. I should turn off some of the stuff here so you can see what I'm talking about. Is back testing the bull market support band. It reclaimed it with this big giant high volume candle and back tested it, and it passed, right? And it's turned from negative sloping over here as resistance here to support. So it looks like there is maybe a little bit of a greater degree change here in terms of the character. It's no longer as boring and bearish as it was over here since its peak in March 2024. Since then, it's just been a lot of low volume chop, and this downtrend here was on low volume, right? So that tells you that really, if you buy a low volume downturn here, the risk reward is probably pretty good. And that was probably the best. If you want to catch a falling knife, great. If not, then I think a spot like where we're at right now, where is getting back above the support band, back testing it, or when it's getting back above the Ichimoku cloud and back testing stuff up here, is probably a pretty decent spot. Now, does it matter to me if it goes back down to 200, 190s again with earnings? Maybe altcoin, maybe they didn't have enough degens buying and give them, Coinbase money from trading. Maybe their business model is not that great. Maybe they're like number whatever 300 on like Apple or whatever. But regardless, there are also a lot of institutions that also utilize Coinbase to. I can talk about fundamentals, all I want, but the reality is that this is changing its character from a bear trend on low volume to a bull trend on high volume with higher highs and higher lows, right? And it's basically flipping all these previous resistance here from resistance to support, and that's what it's doing. On the monthly here, just kind of zoom out here a little bit. It's also been reclaiming a lot of the key things here, like the conversion line is reclaiming that baseline here, is reclaiming that. And the baseline is actually right at the 0.618. All of it is got rejected at a 0.786, is trying to push above for a few months, was not able to do that. Because if you were pushing about the 0.786, then it could go up a lot higher, But they're like, we're not ready yet because we spent like 8 months here around this level before. We're just going to reject you for now. Go back to the 0.618, hang out there for a little bit, back test the kitchen or the baseline here. It did that. It did, and they're like, it's like somebody who's like trying to get a promotion, and they're like, no, you're too young. Just spend a few more years, and and they're like, okay, fine. I did what I have to do now. I went by the 0.618. Can I go now? And they're like, yeah, okay. So that's kind of
I'm 30 and I'm Asian. I just look young. Give me that damn promotion. That's fine. I'll just go make my own business.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the boss is saying, hey, go back, cool down. And that's kind of what it did. You also look at the volume too. This whole downtrend over here for the last like 6-7 months is on declining volume. There's really no volume as it was going down to 0.786 to 0.618, like nothing, right? And the month of October is picking up. And you also have a very, very nice wick candle over here that back to 0.618 and then the baseline. It looks like it wants to go higher. That's the natural course of action. And
it's going higher, baby.
Yeah. The volume is telling you that. Now, if you ask me what's going to happen in the short term in terms of earnings, I don't know. Like if somebody knows, if somebody tells you that they know, tell me who it is and I'll run from them. Like, I don't think anybody knows. If you're going into earnings like super leverage and rather than like just nibbling shares and finding opportunities to add more, you're probably gambling. None of this is financial advice, by the way, but it can seriously do some like really sick stuff.
I've got financial advice.
Yeah.
Never go into an earnings that you're unsure about with a leveraged position. Just have a position that's not leveraged, that you can't call away your position because it went the wrong way that you bet on.
Reason. Jules. Okay.
Do not get a margin. Don't set yourself up for a margin call. That's
I mean, like you can if you're comfortable, you can stomach like negative 20%, 30% on like Cornell. You can. I think that's fine. But like I can totally see, hey, you can swing either way and go all the way up to the 0.786 again, or you can come back and test the baseline. Like I can see it going either way. In between, there's probably a lot of resistance and support. I don't care. Like if it goes down, I think I'm gonna try to look at a higher time framing and look at a weekly chart here and see whether or not I can catch the falling knife. Maybe down here again if it decides to do something sinister and going down to like the 200 again, or even go down here again to like 180s. If it wants to do that, great. I'll see what I can do. That would still be a higher low compared to over here. So to me, it doesn't really matter. Do I think it's going to do that based on the structure that it's doing right now? Probably not. So I'm going to relinquish control now.
So you're just right. You said you mostly have a coin, and you did buy like
it's like
position coin L.
That's 75% coin, and then like 25% coin L.
Yeah. You just never gonna pronounce it right from now on, right?
I'm gonna
call it coin L now.
I'm gonna keep adding to coin. Like I think that's going to be one of my DCA positions, because if I've been DCAing into miners for so long, because they've been destroyed for so long, like now I'm just looking at coin. That's where I'm, because I see altcoin season coming pretty soon.
Yeah, Doge and Solana leading the way.
And I see the Gantt chart immediately looking something that gets me pretty excited. So go take it away, man.
Yes. What I see for earnings, like I don't want to jinx it for anybody, but it's on top of an ARC. You already mentioned the Ichimoku cloud. It's on top of every kind of support. You just go to the moving averages there too. It's on top of all that too. Like the Bollinger Band, it's on top of that too. The 20-week average is still kind of sloping down, but that is what it is still. But there's so many confluences that it's just on top of everything now. So what I see 245. I really do. I'm not saying tomorrow. I'm saying probably soon. The 786, that's the holy grail to get above right there. And then after that, it'll go to the top arcs again, and then the 886 and all-time highs after that. But this is a super bullish setup going into earnings. Unlike AMD, it wasn't on top of everything. It was just in the middle of a bunch of stuff. So AMD just went down to test support. People are freaking out. I guess we can talk about that next. But this is complete opposite of AMD before earnings. This is something that's super bullish, and it doesn't even matter with that tomorrow's earnings because it looks like it just wants to go higher. That's like one look at this. I'm like, yeah, I'm bullish. I love how it's on the top side of this arc for the first time ever. Really, first time ever. It's just gorgeous.
I hope it gets rejected at 0.786, and anywhere between here to any support down below, I'm going to keep buying. That's kind of my, like, I buy at resistance and I buy under resistance when I see the risk reward ratio being pretty decent over the next 6 to 12 months. Not financial advice. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing.
And not only that, like the trend-based fibs too that IC tracker use, you can just draw it anywhere. You can draw it here, from here and down to here, and it's above the 1.618 at 203. Like it's a perfect base, right? And then you could even draw it like from the bottom here to here and then there, and it's above the 618, the 210, It
respects these Fibonacci patterns so beautifully.
And then from there to the very top, and it respects it right there, the 205. Like no matter which way you look at it, it looks like it's holding support and it wants to go to the 240s. Like I cannot be bearish on coin. And if it did dip after earnings, I would be super excited because I would buy a lot more.
Yeah, me too.
So that's it. I mean, coin to the moon.
To the moon. Are we ready to take requests yet, or is there something else you guys wanted to do particular?
Well, AMD people did request that.
AMD.
We talk about AMD, and then we can go to Bitcoin, and then we can just talk about anything else. Somebody asked about like AFRM and and other things, but
we kind of promised we'd do requests this morning, and I see a bunch of requests now. But let's do the thing. AMD,
Bitcoin was what got you excited in the first place, so we'll get to it.
We'll do Bitcoin next. But AMD, it's not as bullish as coin because granted, it is on top of, again, ARC. It is on top of that. So yes, it is bullish on top of support. So where did it end up after ours? Like 153. And where is 153? Basically that conversion line down there. And then you got more support right there at 149 and the low 149s. So if this comes back down, it looks like it's just a perfect back test of that. And I'll zoom out in a little bit just to show you how everything looks. But it wasn't as bullish because it still had the cloud above. Like on Coinbase, it's above the cloud, it's above a lot of things, and this one it wasn't, right? It was just still stuck in the cloud, still making lower highs, right? Still making lower highs from here. So obviously they just wanted to send it right back down to support. So I think that is a good possibility to do, and we can even put up a fib right there too, just to see. And yeah, so 154 is that 382. So I think it could have a good shot of just closing the week out around that fib, right? I don't see a need to really go down this low. So there's lots of support in the low 150s. I would not worry too much about coin, and in fact, I'll probably be looking at it tomorrow on my live stream on Patreon. So yeah,
I've got a chart I want to show you for AMD.
Yeah,
you got a chart.
That support could go back to 150. Well, guess what?
Ooh,
it's there. It's after hours.
Yeah.
AMD is now at 153.57.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, 153.
Yeah. Oh, you said it did go to that. Okay.
Yeah. Tons of support down there.
Yeah, people were asking me of what I thought AMD was going to do. It's on the wrong. Wait, hang a second. This is the wrong chart. This is the second chart of this one. This one's supposed to be Bitcoin, BTC, USD. I've got to put these back. Sorry, over here, AMD. Yeah, and so for AMD, it looked to me like it wants to go higher, but on the way to get there, it's definitely going to oscillate going up there. Let me get rid of this thing here too. So it's going to go higher, but it's got room to oscillate on the way up there, and it's just kind of building this base around the 155 level, and then it's already done the wave 3, sub 1, sub 2. So the wave, yeah, maybe this is like an extended wider flat a little bit. Not even really. It's still oscillating on the way up there. My next target is 300, like 298.84 for AMD. It's going to do like 5 waves up from here. So it's just oscillating on its way up there. This isn't even the 1-2 move. This is like the AB before the sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, sub 4, and then all of wave 3. There's nothing to worry about. This is an opportunity to buy more AMD, and that's what Matt would tell you, and that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, I actually wanted to zoom out real quick and show people what this really looks like. So I zoomed out. You guys can see the symmetry of it all. This is the 45-degree angle, and you can see after this blue level held, it went up and got rejected by the green back to the 45. It broke out, and it's riding the top arc down as support, guys, just like how this was resistance in the beginning, then it broke out. It's just doing that. And not only that, from this, I do have a fib right there. From that high back in 2000 to that low, look, it already went to the 1.414, and it already did a successful backtest of the 122 down there. So there's really no need to worry, because it looks like it wants to flip this zone to a support, and it wants to go back up higher and higher and higher. So just wanted to zoom out and show you the big picture of this, how this is not a bearish looking chart. It's a previous resistance here. Flip to
Wait, did it tag $150 right there between the arc and the horizontal line?
Right here?
Yeah. No, like just next to it, like where we are right now. Did it like go right in that crook? Yes, right there.
Yeah, 150, 52. Yeah, it already nailed that 150. I mean, could it come back there for a double bottom? Yeah, it could. But this whole zone with all the other confluence of the Ichimoku and the other fibs and the trend-based fibs and all that stuff, it looks really, really fine. So whatever it did, it was just making a bunch of lower highs. So they just wanted to send it back down to support. And I think that support could be an opportunity for tomorrow.
Team Appreciates Life asks, where would you buy MD if you're starting a position? I'd say start buying some right now. And then if it could go back any deeper, buy some more. But yeah, definitely start now.
I could really see that fib that I showed you on the previous screen here. Where was it? I don't even know where it was. But anyways, at that 154 fib, I think that's a real good possibility of holding for the week. So whatever it does tomorrow could wick down to 150, 149, whatever. I'm not sure if it will, but it could. And I think that still would be a good opportunity. But I think the 154, 155 has a good chance of closing a weekly candle above.
Yeah, I'd say anywhere around 150 anything.
Yeah, but after hours it was like 153. I mean, you can check Robinhood now if anybody can buy Robinhood. But yeah, basically low 150s is my goal.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got a chart yet?
Yeah, I want to show something that people may not like when it comes
Oh
to.
no, I gotta get you off the screen now. Hold on.
It's AMD is a bullish chart. Like, I don't think there's any doubt to me. I think it's great to buy at support. Like, it's to me, if you want to get in a position, it's good, right? The only issue I have is I have this chart over here, which is the NVIDIA over AMD chart. And basically just the ratio between how NVIDIA does over AMD. And it's a bull trend. Like, NVIDIA wants to just keep outperforming AMD. And look at the current structure right now. Like, it looks like it's just doing a little bit of back test, looking like, NVIDIA wants to keep running above AMD. So I guess I shouldn't use like logarithmic for a ratio, but just look at it. It just makes me feel that NVIDIA might want to keep running and maybe a little bit more outperforming AMD. That's the only thing that I'm seeing that I have against AMD. Otherwise, it's a very, very nice and very bullish chart. Like, there's nothing else.
I was like an 80s kid, and there's this commercial that me and my sibling used to love to repeat. It was like the move over, bacon. Now there's something leaner. It was like the Sizzling commercial. I don't know if you ever saw those. Move over, AMD. We've got NVIDIA that's going to outperform you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the narrative is still right? I mean, the NVIDIA chart, the NVIDIA chips are still the most highest demand. AMD is still trying to play catch up. They're still at least like a couple of years behind. So
Heidi said that all of the Blackwell chips for all of 2025 are already sold out.
Yeah. So I think NVIDIA is just, like it might continue to lag behind NVIDIA. AMD might continue to lag behind NVIDIA based on what I'm looking chart wise, but we'll see. Right. So this is the 4-hour chart here for Bitcoin. I've been looking at this for quite some time. Really started drawing it really ever since like it was kind of touching this angle over here. I didn't really change this at all. This is a 4-hour. I think like 180 and 100. I just kind of left it be and kind of see what it was doing. Look at how beautiful Bitcoin has been following this. It's like
really love the chart, Matt.
Yeah, I don't think like Matt ever really cares to even look at this time frame, but look at how beautiful this is. I don't know what the heck is going on.
it's good. It bounces up and down like a ping pong from those levels. Yeah.
And right now it hits this confluent zone at the arc and the horizontal that got rejected. Clearly got rejected here. And I think if you ask me what the next step would be, and this would be maybe in confluence with what the liquidation heat map has been as well. This is basically telling you what the price where all these leverage positions are at that gets liquidated. So, for example, if price all of a sudden crashed down to like 70,500, then these positions would get liquidated, and they will lose their position, right? Like all these people that are doing leverage, so they would basically just lose their money, right? You also have another heat right here around like 71,600 or something like that, and you can see on the way up it was grabbing liquidity over here and it was continuing to grab liquidity over here like Pac-Man. It just pop, and then right now the liquidity up here seems to be a little bit thin, and liquidity down below seems to be a little bit better, right? So it does make me wonder whether or not we might end up retracing. There are two paths it could go. I guess it can break down the arc and test the angle, or it can potentially just kind of go a little bit sideways here, at least to like 71,000, somewhere around there, at least to like 71,000, grab that level over there. But I can also totally see maybe it's just kind of totally just wick down underneath the arc and grab this level down here as well. I see it.
Confluence.
Yeah.
I've got a 123.6% level at 71,725.
Okay.
So if it could wick below that just a little bit and catch like 71,500 or 71,250. And that might, I like that liquidity grab that you're talking about.
or even a little bit lower. If it's a wick, it doesn't bother me. Like if it wicks down like the wick that we'd had like the last 4 hours, it doesn't really matter, you know.
I mean, I'm calling for a potential wick all the way back to 68,063. I don't want to see that, but that would be a complete back test of the triangle that we just left.
Yeah, I don't
don't need
see
it to.
any like I mean like I guess even lower, you know, who knows, right? But so far, like immediately speaking, I think they're you know like lower time frame, it might end up falling to arc down or maybe even wick down below. I don't know. On the higher time frame, like there's really nothing bad to say about Bitcoin. Like it's just like come on, you know. Let me see if I can put up the Bitstamp thing here. On the weekly, it did what it had to do. Well, I do have again here, but I'm going to delete that because that's not the whole point here. On the weekly, it did what it had to do. It bounced from the Ichimoku and, you know, almost perfectly hit a bullish cross, and it's running up as expected. You know, like for people who are expecting to go down lower, they're not watching the current market structure right now. For the warehouse support band, you flipped it from like resistance here to support, and it's possibly slipping, right? So again, for people who are calling it lower, I guess I can see it maybe going down to like 63,000 maybe, right? But for people who call like it has to go lower, they're just not following market structure. It went underneath a little bit below the Super Ichi, bounced back above, back tested almost perfectly, and bounced, right? Like it did all these things, and it doesn't have to do what you think it's going to do. It bounced from the 50 over here a couple times. Like it's just one of those things that it just had to back test, take a break, drink some water, and then it runs up again. That there's really nothing to be
drinking the water.
Yeah, it's just drinking some Gatorade, you know. And the same thing, like here is the Tenkan or conversion line. It's just basically waiting for the conversion line to go up. Whenever price went all the way up to March, I thought it had to at least like cool down for like 3 months. It ended up doing it for like 6 or 7 months, which is fine. It just gives you more time to accumulate out of crap, you know. But I see a very similar structure over here as we did over here. Very, very similar, right? Or I would even argue a very similar structure as it was over here in terms of what it's been doing right now. It's just consolidating sideways. And again, this looks just like Coinbase, right? You have a big giant cup, you have a little bit of handle here. It's just there. I mean, like you don't need any of this crap to like show you that things are flipping, right? Even before, like you don't need any of the bullish cross or any of that crap to really get you excited. I know.
Whoa, geez, calm down, kid.
I mean, like I know, like Matt doesn't believe in RSI, you know, but like there's clearly an RSI breakthrough here. Like there's just a lot of signs I just show you. Like it back tested what it needed to back test, and it wants to run. We really like when it back tested the cloud over here around 53,000. I thought, hey, you know, this could be it, you know. But anyway, a lot of people are skeptical of it, and I guess I was also skeptical of that theory. I was like, yeah, this could be it. I'm buying stuff. But yeah, you guys could be right, you know, and I'm okay with that. I keep buying if it goes lower. But like the market structure is pretty clearly now higher highs and higher lows. So I'm gonna pass it on to you guys, to whoever wants to go to.
Actually, what I'd like to do is let's do MicroStrategy, and then I'd like to see MicroStrategy over coin.
Yeah, you want MicroStrategy over coin? Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So MicroStrategy is going higher. It's going to this arc. Like I don't have any doubt over that. MicroStrategy is also going higher because it's also gone through something that is extremely bullish to me. Which, if you look at like the 3-month chart, and I was already talking about this like back in I guess September when I saw this, it flipped this like Tenkan and Kijun from resistance here to support. Like it wants to go higher. This is incredible. It was rejected here, came back to the cloud, passed, and then it just flipped it from resistance to support. It wants to go higher. It's going to keep going. The if you want to do MSTR over coin, that's a little bit tricky. That's a little bit tricky because it's so parabolic right now. Like I can't even say anything about it. Like I think it's getting to the point that it's probably gonna get exhausted, maybe in like a couple months. And then I think after that, coin might outperform, but not yet. Because right now, MicroStrategy is still king. With this MicroStrategy over coin chart, MicroStrategy is still king. It's just started to expand the Bollinger Band on the monthly, and it's probably going to keep going bam, bam, and then it might end up getting exhausted maybe sometime in like Q1 of 2025. And that's when maybe the money will start rotating to other stuff, which is exactly you remember what I said, like November equals November 2024 equals November 2020, right? Which is exactly what might be happening with MicroStrategy, because what happened in November 2020? Whew, man, look at that. I don't think it has to, but I think they're front running it this time. I think that this candle over here may be a part of the November 2020 candle over here, because I really do think that they're front running MicroStrategy ahead of Bitcoin. Clearly, like you can see all these like inside candles. Like Bitcoin doesn't look that nice, like Bitcoin doesn't look that nice. But if you look at MicroStrategy, it's like, okay, you got 6 inside candles over here. The primary trend is up. It wants to go up. It broke above. It went up, right? So this is going to run into Q4 of 2024. Q4 of 2020 was pretty bullish. I don't know if November is going to be like a breakaway candle like this again. Maybe we're already kind of starting to exhaust the trend here. But if you look at the Bollinger Band, last time all it did was it just spent another 3 months or 4 months just kind of do these crazy things, and it just exhausted. And then it just kind of went sideways and did nothing towards the end of the cycle. Now, Bitcoin made a higher high in November 2021, right? But MicroStrategy never did. It completely exhausted the trend. I can totally see it doing that. Maybe another few bam, bam, bam candle, maybe even hits 4 digits. I think it's entirely possible for it to do that. And and I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. But so far, the low Bollinger Band is re-expanding again. It looks like it wants to keep going. So I think it probably will end up going, another 3-4 candles right into Q1 of 2025, which is exactly what happened last time. A few candles running to Q1 of 2021, and that's when it gets exhausted, and that's when money start rotating to other things like miners and other other things. So but that's kind of what I'm seeing. I see a lot of similarities between this to what happened last cycle. But if you just simply look at the MicroStrategy over Coinbase chart right now, which you want to be MicroStrategy or Coinbase, okay, maybe MicroStrategy for another quarter or so. But
all right, guess what? That whole time that you were talking, I already charted it. Matt, if you flip me over to it.
You fixed my chart?
or
is it a way for me to say that I talk too long?
No, not at all. I love the way you talk.
Kicking you out.
Okay, kicking you out. All right, here's the all-time low for MSTR divided by coin, and here's your wave 1 and your wave 2, and now we're in wave 3, and here's wave 3 sub 1, sub 2. Kind of, yeah. Look, this was the wave 3 sub 4, and boom, that's all of wave 3. Or it's really hard to do on this weekly chart, but it really feels like the wave 4 is done. The wave 2 was sort of longer, so the wave 4 is very short, extremely short. I think it's already on its way. This zone is where I would say it would be the ideal zone to flip to suppose, potentially sell some MicroStrategy to buy coin when this is sort of like an indicator for when you'd want to do it, I'd say. And then from here, it starts to go the other way, and coin starts to outperform MicroStrategy for at least, oh wait, I can chart that too. Hang on. From this, let's say hypothetically, if it goes to the 2764, then it would come back to the bullishly to the bottom of the wave 2, wave 3 sub 2. I just want to flip you guys over to the other side so everyone can read it, not just me. And then this is a terrible color. So what I usually use, and then 350. Oh, no, too much. 260. That's not too much. Why is it
while you're fixing that, I just want to respond to one of the comments. So I don't use options at all. I'm not like an option strategy cat. I mostly just hold shares. If I have to trade in and out, it's all shares, because to time things are very difficult sometimes. you just never know what the market makers are going to do in terms of short-term, moves and things like that. So, yeah, be careful. I know you're probably joking, but I just wanted to clarify on that. But yeah, we're gonna get back to tracker here.
All right, so up here in this, yellow zone is where MicroStrategy is sort of the top, the king of the hill, and then as it approaches down this way, here would be the ideal where coin it will outperform MicroStrategy, and then it'll flip the other way. MicroStrategy will probably outperform coin again. So I don't know. This would be kind of cool. We can keep revisiting this chart every week if you want, because now I got it. I got it permanently. We can see how it evolves. So still MicroStrategy outperform coin, and then it peaks, and then this is the perfect time to window to switch it around and start putting more into coin as it comes this way.
Yeah, that's what happened last cycle, but not every cycle has to be the same. But it just gives you a little bit clue, because MicroStrategy was also like the darling of last cycle, early and mid cycle, and then it's just kind of had like a electile dysfunction, if you will, and it just didn't really get up any further, unfortunately.
I mean, that's true. It could completely go the other way. I mean,
Matt got it.
It could start to retrace right now and go from here 382236618. If that ends up being a preemptive top, like maybe it only gets 3 waves this way, and then goes 3 waves that way, and then 3 waves this way and 3 waves that. Maybe it's always going to be 3 waves back and forth. You can see all the oscillation through here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think eventually, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to speculate, but some would argue MicroStrategy is going to be like the biggest dog of them all. Which, yeah. But anyway,
again, looking forward to when the use cases for the altcoins actually when they start becoming useful, then they'll become more valuable.
Yeah.
And
well,
Bitcoin.
When Coinbase becomes like #1 on iTunes, then they'll be surpassing MicroStrategy for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to buy into MicroStrategy right now, because even though I think MicroStrategy is going to do very well probably over the next 3 to 4 to 5 months, I just like to ride the cycle a little bit longer. I like to create the least amount of textable events as much as possible, and I think Coinbase probably has longer legs to go up than MicroStrategy. So that's kind of my strategy, but I don't know what.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a request for ASTS. I'm just going to try to fulfill that right now with what I've got.
Hang on, let's finish Bitcoin. Let's Matt talk about.
Oh,
Bitcoin.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just gonna finish the Bitcoin. So I got a battle of linear scale GANs going on right now. So we're gonna show you the first one. That's
nice.
super symmetrical right here, and it's breaking above my orange level at 69,000. This is the one I've been talking about the whole time, where I knew it was going to be some resistance there, and it was like a different structure of breaking this arc this last time. So it is very bullish, but the possibility to continue higher is kind of limited by this GAN right here, which is basically resistance right there. So I have shown this one. This is the original one where it was 61,300, that orange line. I've shown that one multiple times in the past. And yeah, sure enough, I'm going back to it again and didn't change a thing. And there it is. It's nailing resistance exactly on that angle. So really want to see that angle break. And if it does, then I think it can go much higher into the 90s, the 100s and stuff like that fairly quickly. But we're almost there, but I'm not sure if it's really ready. So I did post something on X today that I said don't celebrate too soon, because right now it's at resistance, right? We were at resistance at 69,000. We broke through, and now we're once again at resistance. So we have multiple layers of resistance, and this is basically the last one. The last level, guys. This is the final boss, if you will, if you play games. I know Tracker does. But
you could feel that resistance today. You and I, we spent a lot of time actually with the charts in front of us, and it looked like Bitcoin just like went to slow motion.
Yeah.
This afternoon, and just like it didn't look like it was going anywhere for the longest time. It's like, it feels like resistance right there. Literally, it's palpable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there. This is the final bus. I don't see any more resistance after that at all. And I think
you definitely feel it run. Like you can feel it running from a support to race to the next resistance, then race from resistance to the next support.
You can just see with my charts, like once it got above 69,000, it just raced to the second level right here, right up here. So basically, it just from one chart to the next, it just ran right to the next level. And this is the final bus. And once this happens, then I guess it's going to be after the election, probably, right? I don't know if it's going to break above this week. But then we got a glorious 2025.
Everything rally.
Yeah. So that's all I got. I mean, MicroStrategy, you guys already covered it. So if you want to go jump into the requests, we can do that.
Yeah. Charlie, you want to take away with ASTS?
Sure. Here's my ASTS Space Mobile. And I'm still looking for it to come down to this 2074 level, but it looks like it's really spent a long time right in here. It might be done. It might have been done with this candle right here, where it came to 2150. My target was 2074. That might be it because it's been going sideways for so long. I'd say it's definitely time to start buying ASTS back if you sold it anywhere around here, or if you're holding it, just keep holding it. Maybe buy any more dips you see, dollar cost average into it, because it may not hit 2074. It might just go straight for 34.92 next, especially if we get into next week and everything else starts rallying. And here you got this earnings report. I don't know what that's going to do. If that's going to send it down, I don't know. I'd start, if you don't have any Space Mobile, I'd start getting some head earnings. Don't buy anything on leverage, and then buy with more conviction after earnings. It runs up to $35, like I expect here. It should pull back to 29.50. One more, like give you one more chance to buy it after earnings, before it starts going on up to 66, and then 120, 117.89 is where the 2618 is. This could even go to the 1618. I don't know. I'll have to draw a box in that zone probably. Yeah, ASTS Space Mobile looks really bullish still. But they look, they just kind of left it. Look at this giant block of bankers and whales buying it from May all the way through August. And they just disappeared, just evaporated. And this is just retail kind of like trading with itself. Still the bankers are here somewhat, but they're just not buying in these big blocks like they were back here. But I think the gas is about to pour back on into this zone. That's my ASTS Space Mobile. What else we got?
I got a little bit of a pessimistic view of ASTS.
Sure.
And it's not. Let me see. And I don't generally like to not be bullish over something. But the whole thing. I mean, I did this scan 181, right? It was showing some pretty decent market symmetry. Got rejected the arc here. Eventually passed. So it passed through arcs number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Got rejected by the fourth arc, right around the 1.618. By the way, and it came back down and it went underneath the arc and underneath the horizontal there, trying to backtest, failed to do so. It's starting to show a lot of weakness. I think it might hit the 0.786, which is like around $20. I think it's possible for it to come down. And when it comes down, the bullish structure, it's a little bit scary, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It
would be scary.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary. And I'm also looking at like the Bollinger Band. This is something that it really does remind me of MicroStrategy during the last cycle as well. You have a move that went all the way to like $2 all the way to like 40. I think it's cooling off right now. It just needs to get back inside a monthly Bollinger Band because it's just this is not sustainable. There's might be a chance for it to make another higher high, but that would be like maybe to like the 50s and 60s, but that might be it. I don't know, like, because if you look at the Bollinger Band, I mean, it's doing fine, okay still, but it's already starting to kind of curl over. So you're starting to have a little bit of trend exhaustion, but the trend can continue to go up higher. And I think it can potentially make, and I'm not sure, it can potentially make another like 2 or 3x. And there's a potentially that could be the top of the cycle. And it doesn't necessarily have to do that. Like it really depends. Right now, it's just in space right now. I don't know what's going to happen, because we look at MicroStrategy during the last cycle, it had the same look to it. You see why I'm worried about this, and it looks like it kind of wanted to push up, but it never did, right? So it really depends on whether or not the liquidity wants to enter it. So I'm a little bit worried about the look of this. Not to say that it can make a higher high, but like the risk reward ratio may not be justifiable for me to kind of get in. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. So
Sure. No, very valid, very good thoughts. My pullback level is $20.74 is what I was looking
Perfect.
for.
Yeah.
And that would give us the 1-2 that would then propel us on to hit like the 50s and the 60s and the 80s and then 100. So let's see if it can come down to 2074 and then hold that as support and then get as high as 34 again.
Yeah. All right. Well, Matt's got you. Matt, do you want to just like do a lightning round for the rest of them?
Yeah, I can. You guys can jump in anytime anyways. But just real quickly with ASTS, though, this is the all-time high back in February 21. And it's staying above that level, 25.37. Like, this is my line in the sand, really, if it's going to be bullish or not. And it's wanting to hold that as a support. So a previous all-time high flipping to a support, that's what I see right now. So I can't be bearish until this gets broken again, like we saw here. And then maybe if this angle gets broken, then possibly I'll be bearish. But until then, 25.37, that's support. And I cannot be bearish on support right now. So I think the opportunity to continue higher is there until proven otherwise.
Yeah. So we got 2 bulls and 1 bear.
Well, I don't know if you're bearish, really. You're like maybe cautious.
I think it's gonna make a continuation. I just don't know if it's gonna make the same kind of move that it did before. That's all. Yeah,
for sure.
But anyway,
I've got. I'll take a stab at GME.
All right. Yeah.
And you can pull up your Rocket Lab while I'm doing that. GME is exactly. I haven't changed my chart at all since it. This is like the low that it hit, this 995 level, ran up here to $80, then came back down to 1757. And it's never broken below 1757 ever since it came back. So that means if this is my wave start, my wave 1 and my wave 2, then the 764 level is up here at 7109. So my Elliottian chart logic says as long as it never falls below 1757, then 7109 is the most likely outcome. If that makes sense to you. And it already did kind of like do this thing where it like ran up here and couldn't make it to 7109 and then fell back over. So this is simply just an extended wider flat of this wave 2. And now it's like everyone's a little bit gun shy. But if it makes another big move, look for 7109. And then maybe a quick pullback to 44.33 would be very healthy to propel it to the 1382 at 114.51. And then if it doesn't all fall apart at the wave 4, which is exactly where this would fall apart next. If it doesn't fall apart, then my Elliott wave theory says it would hit 184. And that is that's my GME chart. It doesn't predict timing. It only predicts price targets. So it's kind of useful and not useful at the same time. Like, it's not useful if you're not willing to wait or if you try to trade options. And there you go, GME. And look down here. It is at 98%. This is an 8-hour chart. 98% bankers in Wales.
Yeah.
Retail is all the way on the sideline.
They're sneaky. Yeah.
Sneaky.
Yeah. You flip it to me real quick. I'm just gonna do it. I mean,
I throw your thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
Yeah, just flip it and reverse it. I had a video for GME just a couple days ago. I cannot be bearish on this chart. It flipped the 20-month moving average from resistance to support, and it had like almost 3 touches, 2.5 touches, if you will, on the 20-month. last time when you have a negative sloping 20-month moving average flip to flat to positive sloping, like great things happen. Like this is a definition of a trend change. This is a definition of changing from the bear trend to beginning of a bull trend. And I also like how the monthly candle here has like 3 little fork legs down underneath. Like these things are pretty bullish. It's getting set up for something big, and tracker just kind of gave you the target. So that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Noise.
Gosh, it hit that Ichimoku baseline in your monthly like 3 times. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like they just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Ichimoku is nice too. I mean, yeah, if you want to watch other like indicators I was talking about, I think it's still setting up to be a pretty bullish chart. But
I see a Rocket Lab on my
I'm a Rocket Lab. Okay.
Oh my god, demonetized.
Luckily, they can't recognize. My singing is so terrible that they can't recognize it.
You should just sing in Mandarin and no one will know how bad it is.
That's true.
我是火箭人.
I just want to bring this up again because it's so funny. You know, between the 3 of us, there's like this scale of Asianness where Cantonese cat is he's the most Asian cat.
I'm the most Asian. What are you talking
among
about?
us. And then I'm like half Chinese, but I like grew up right here in North Carolina. I speak no Mandarin at all. And if you looked at the 3 of us side by side, like Matt is the whitest dude you'd ever see.
Yeah, I'm like
he is the most Asian. He's more Asian than I am because
I'm like Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and all that stuff. And yeah, and then I sing songs like "Rugwa will sure DJ." Anyways,
直猫叫啊.
Or anyways, okay, sorry. Rocket Lab. Yeah, so this GAN is pretty perfect here. This bullish engulfing candle thing. Yeah. Candle just set things off at 30%, just cut above the 45 and the 50%. That was enough to continue higher to the 618. And now I see that kind of as a support. So 1073 is looking like it is wanting to hold as a support. So will it just blast through? I don't know. It has a lot of resistance above now. It's got the bottom arc, the 702, the top arc, then up here the 786. So it's got a lot of things to overcome, but I think if it can hold 1073 or even on the top side of this orange level here, 1025, like this zone, if it can hold that, then I think there's a good shot of breaking through. But if there is any like weekly candle close that kind of closes below these zones, then possibly a retest of that 45 might be necessary before it continues higher. So very bullish. I'm just more cautious at resistance, and it already got rejected once. You can see that by that wick. A lot of sell pressure once it touched, and therefore it's been just hovering in between these levels ever since then. So yeah, it's bullish. Be cautious, but if 1073 can hold, it can probably break through.
And I've got a Rocket Lab chart with some targets for people.
You're a Rocket Lab.
And it's basically a retrace chart, right? Because Rocket Lab had an all-time high way up here at 2134. So I retraced it. Oh my God, look at all the support testing it did. It just spent all this time from 2022 to 2020, early 2025, building this base. And now it's filling it back up. And it's just doing a retrace from the $3.47 low back towards this $21.34 all-time high. And it's doing it an ABC, because that's how retraces work. And I was looking for 382.236. It never came back for this 236. And why would it? It already tested it down here. It was done with it. It went straight for the 50% level. Could it go to the 61.8? I think it's going to try to, just like Matt said, it's at resistance now. I think this candlestick possibly did all it's going to do. I'm going to maybe call this as the top of A. And I'm looking for it to retrace to 1030, which would be the 382. And from there, we could get a nice launch up to the 764. So instead of instead of a 618, instead of a 382.236.618, because it went to the 50% level, because all this already did this testing down here, it's going to extend to the 76.4. So 1712, and then look for, like a 5-wave retrace, and then it can start moving up higher again to retest the all-time high. And this is a really cool trick I learned from Matt's course, the Great Matsby's trading course on Telegram, is to do this 127.2 extension back this direction. So actually the next target, once it does get over the 76.4 with some back testing for support, might be 26.20. Anyway, my next target is start DCAing now, dollar cost average down into what I think will be 1030, and then ride it up to 17. And then overall, this could be a successful chart. It could continue to be successful. The bankers in Wales certainly like it. Buying a bunch of it.
Tracker's next target is at 21.34.
你是我的小呀小苹果。
I don't know what that means, but it sounds fun.
You're my small apple, okay? That's
Yeah,
Aw.
that's literally what that means. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
And it's one of the hottest songs in China for
it
like the last
was,
10
yeah.
years.
When I was
Yeah.
there, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Would that make
cool.
me the microscopic apple?
Is it like a big song of the people? Is it very
Oh yeah, it was like Gangnam Style almost,
oh, nice?
in China at least.
But like, did it have like a very very
yeah.
Communist Party theme?
No. It's
of the
very
people?
poppy, very
Oh,
poppy.
okay.
You would think
Yeah.
it's like Korean poppy, maybe. I don't even know.
It's absolutely meaningless. Like it has no cultural reference. It does nothing to anybody. It's
Nice.
it's
It's
just
sort of like that earworm. Call me maybe.
yeah. Call me maybe.
I think that song actually means more than 小苹果. Yeah. Anyway.
So looking through the request, somebody asked about if we talked about Tesla already. Yeah, I do think it will kind of be stuck under 271, beneath 271 until after the election results are done.
Yeah. Somebody asked about NU, SOFI.
Oh yeah, let's do that one.
I got AFRM locked and loaded. I saw that one.
Do it.
I'll do that
Right.
one first while you guys load the other charts. So AFRM, similar to Rocket Lab, it's basically going from the bottom of December 22 straight up to the blue level there, then rejection down to the 382 fib and the arcs and the angle, and then straight up to this angle here, and also the bottom arc, which has been massive resistance for it ever since August, late August. It could never break above, and then it went back down and retested the 50%. But the good news is it's holding that 50% level, $39. So I can see $39 holding as support, and maybe it doesn't want to go lower. But at the same time, it might just be stuck in this range in between like the arc, like 45 and maybe 39 for maybe some time. Possibly it wants to go touch this angle again before it goes higher. I don't know if it wants to take that much time or not, but I guess it just depends on the overall market, really. But once this can break, then I think I can see back to 51 and then smashing through this 55.70 as well. So just one step at a time, but just got to pay attention to 39. If that continues to hold, then that'll be a base for a floor for an opportunity to get in, possibly for a chance to go higher.
Yeah, I'd say a firm has definitely been building a base around that $42 level. And I think it's foreshadowing that's going to be support later after it makes a run for $60.
Yeah.
On my chart, the 764, it goes up to 59.68, then retraces a quick touch back to 42.92, maybe even just as a feint and like just done with it. Gosh, maybe it even runs to 70 and then just comes back to 53. But typically, it would go 764 to 59.68, back to the 382 for 42.92, then up to 86.70, and then finishes this cycle out at 130.66, which is still not quite the all-time high. I haven't done this, but I'll bet. Let's see what ratio that is. Looks like an 86, 88%. Where can I just grab? 8. 882. Oh no, not quite there either. Oh no, I'm sorry. It is a 76. I'm looking too far. Yeah, it kind of lines up with the 76.4%. Maybe my target should be the 2618 instead. Somewhere around there. It's almost like just doing a retrace as it's doing 5 waves up of the all-time high. Affirm. And then, was it new? I had new right here. Wait, is this thing on? You guys are so quiet. Oh, because you're muted. You're being polite.
No, I'm listening. I'm singing on the background, so you're good.
Oh, nice.
You must be new.
Let's see. New is also got, I've got the all-time low down here at 326, and then it goes to about 829, then back to 661. So that's my 1, 2. So now it's in wave 3, sub 1, sub 2. And then this was the 3, 4 of all of 3, and then the 4 came pretty darn deep here. It's almost a diagonal, really, that how deep this wave 4 came in. So we're in wave 5 now, and all I've got for you is a box, because these diagonals are really hard to figure out exactly where the wave 5 is going to be. The good news is usually the wave 5 melt up, as volatile as it's going to be. You can see it's been volatile right in here already. It's going to continue being volatile, and then it could top out. Maybe it will go for the 2618 around 1978. This one's going to be kind of slippery to hold. No one will blame you if you simply just want to take profits. That's 12% versus 23% gain left. There's some other stuff that maybe you can make more money on in the meantime. Maybe just if it starts to, if you see, like on the next spike up, maybe take profits there and then take your money over to MicroStrategy or something else. But the whales are buying.
Cat's really bullish on Affirm, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I've been holding Affirm for a very long time. But yeah, I started posting about it when it was in single digits. So
yeah,
humble brag.
I got Affirm going all the way up to 140.
Oh yeah.
And then then it'll just retrace a little bit, and then it could build higher than ever. It could beat the all-time high previously. They need to grow.
But it's supposedly
this is what growth looks like.
It's unprofitable. But the recession is coming, Tracker. I don't know. The consumer recession. Like, buy now and never pay. I mean, that's. Yeah.
Well, did they talk about Meta? We haven't talked about Meta yet.
Well, there's Meta, there's SOFI, there's Crocs. Oh, I see Crocs on there.
Crocs.
Yeah, that's a Crocs right
there.
The
good news is we have 13 minutes left in the show to do the lightning round through all these. Well, so
that's what this was supposed to be, anyways.
I know. And then we slowed it down with all the singing, but I love the singing. So I think Meta is going to be it's headed for 680, the 679.63, with a pullback to test the 1236 at 50, about $540 before it pushes up higher to hit this beautiful 1045 for the 2618. That's really all there is to my Meta chart. It's pretty cut and dry now. We're finishing out the third wave. And then what was that?
Yeah, SOFI? I agree with you on Meta too, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah.
SOFI, it looks like it might have. Did we already get there? Yeah, I think we already. It kind of didn't quite make it to my 1171 target. It might still go there, but it's also pulled back enough to make me think maybe it's not gonna. Oh man, this is hard. Okay. So I would just start buying more as it goes down. This is gonna be hard to catch this one coming down. It does have this gap here, 886. Typically, it would go 764, 382, 1382. That would take us to 1171, and back to 886, and then on to the 1382 at 1632, with a potential for it to extend to 1720, which is what I've got there. I think that was to match up with Matt's chart. I think that was specifically because of something that Matt said about his Gann chart that said, well, yeah, it could go to 1549. It may not have to come back to 886. It could just, it might be done, in fact. Let's see. Look, it's already got the stupid earnings thing thing is covering up part of the tail wick. It already did like this and then this. There's nothing to say that it could already be done with this little minor 1-2, but it would just make it would be nicer from an elitician's point of view if it retraced all the way back to 886 to launch it up to 1632. So, like, in other words, if that was all of it there, then I would probably lower my target to. No, it would go to 150. I'm sorry, I wouldn't lower my target. I'd actually raise it. That's so weird. Because I like to go 50, then 150, then 100%, then 250, or maybe the 2618. See, look, I'm changing my targets even now. All right. Anyway,
Yeah, I think
as
it's
these numbers,
reasonable.
I'll fix them later.
I'll fix it. You fix your own chart, Tracker. Don't fix
Exactly.
ours.
I'll fix it later. I'll fix it on my own time. Oh, what's next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think SOFI, like what we saw this morning, sub 10 might be the extent of it. We'll see, but it was pretty good recovery. Pretty good recovery. That's for sure.
If you want to flow over to me, I can go through real quick with some of these charts here within a few minutes. Real quick. First of all, this is SOFI's weekly, just to kind of talk a little bit about levels. And this is a Fibonacci level true from the all-time high here down to the all-time low. And yeah, it kind of back tested 0.236 almost perfectly. I think that's probably what you're looking at, Matt. Because it's either going to hold here or it could probably come back down to the gap close, which is what Tracker had around 8.8, 8.9, like this around like 9.0 something. Didn't really end up doing that. It's a katana that has worked out really well. I was pointing out this katana here a few weeks ago. I was like, man, I don't know. It's underneath a really thin cloud here. Looks like it wants to push through the cloud because it's at a vulnerable attack area. Looks like volume is increasing. Looks like there's buying, increasing buying. Looks like this big giant volatility over here is expanding the Bollinger Band further, allowing the Bollinger Band to really expand and really expand it. And it looks like a katana has really broken out. It looks like we have a really nice push up. Now the question is, how far are we going to go up until we start to have a pullback? I really thought that it was way too overextended because it's just been way outside of a Bollinger Band here for like about 3-4 weeks, weeks in a row. Is asking for a pullback and having earnings is probably a perfect time for it to do it. So you end up doing that, back tested the 0.236 almost perfectly and bouncing. I'm not sure whether or not it wants to go back down and close the gap. It may not. It may not do that. If it does, I'm going to buy more. I'm not going to play around with this because I ultimately think that it's going to go much higher. And the reason why I also think that it may not go back down to that level is because if you look at the Super Ichi cloud, there's a lot of similarities between where we're at right now here at the spot over here to where I think it's where it was right here at the spot, where things just kind of went parabolic going up and it kind of back tested the Super Ichi weekly Tenkan. It never really went back down further. There's still a gap down here that wasn't closed, down around like 5.5. It never really went back down to close gaps or anything. It was just kind of hang around here just because the stock was just really so dang bullish, right? It kind of hang around and make a higher high here. I can totally see the same thing kind of happen where it just kind of hang around here and just kind of make a higher high here, maybe hit around 13.42, maybe hit the top of the Subichi cloud over here, maybe it gets to 14, the magic number, which is the resistance, the support level here that's going to turn resistance here as a potential target, right? So that's SOFI, affirm. Also had a very similar thing that had happened, which is the katana here on the Ichimoku cloud is finally playing out. You really see a katana building up here, and right now you have a very much of a rising Tenkan here that can potentially push price up higher over time. All of these right here, these two candles, I guess more or less are inside candles, this bullish candle here. This whole thing right here still looks like a bull flag, consolidation sideways on declining volume. So I think it's probably going to go higher. And I'm just going to give it time. This whole structure here, I cannot be bearish over on this, whole structure here. Like, what the heck is this? I just can't. The other thing, look at like the monthly chart here, and you can see that clearly it has flipped. You had the bullish cross here around April 2024 with the Tenkan and Kijun, and it basically flipped this resistance over here to support. And you're back testing support over here for the last couple of months. You're forming a very nice bull flag. These two are inside candles. So this big giant August candle over here is on declining volume. It looks like it wants to break higher. And the other thing to kind of support that would be if you look at the Bollinger Band here, you also see the upper Bollinger Band continues to expand upwards. 20-month moving average has been tested. The trend change has happened. It's flipped it from resistance to support. It looks like it wants to go up higher. Robinhood. Somebody asked about Robinhood here as well. Robinhood looks extremely bullish because it had already back tested what it needed to back test. At least get close to it back in August of 2024. on high volume, big giant dragonfly doji candle. Looks like it wants to push higher, and it did. The Bollinger Band is expanding to the upside and to the downside. The volume is increasing. This is absolutely beautiful. It looks like it wants to just continue to keep going up higher and higher. And I don't really see it necessarily get bearish anytime soon. I mean, obviously it's a little bit overextended, but on the weekly it's not really that overextended, right? On the weekly it looks like the Bollinger Band is expanding still. There's actually some room for it to continue to go up. Initially I was a little bit worried about the Initially I was a little bit worried about the RSI showing a little bit of bearish divergence, but I think it also has broken above this RSI trend line here. So I think it's probably going to gravitate to 0.618, which is around 32.41. That's what I think about Robinhood. PayPal, what did it do today? Really scary, right? Yeah, not really. What did it do exactly? Well, it basically just came back and back tested 0.236 and it held perfectly. Very, very nice breakdown, a lot of demand, push it back to the level where it was before. On the weekly, it doesn't look overextended. On the monthly, is just starting to kind of build up a bull trend here. It's starting to do what it needs to do. It looks like there is a little bit of Bollinger Band expansion over here, starting to, right? And this could end up turning into something really, really beautiful because you have a 20-month moving average flip from negative sloping to positive sloping. You've turned it from resistance here to support. This is what chartists would love to see for a trend change. I think this is probably just the beginning of something, which is probably why we're getting a little bit more bullish on PayPal. I think any potential pullback would be an opportunity moving forward. So we'll see how much it's going to give us. And then ANU, same thing on the Katana. It has already worked out with the Katana here, with an expansion here. And I talked about this a few weeks ago, and it broke out. It was working out. I think it's probably going to go break up a lot higher because it did what it had to do to expand the Bollinger Band here and allow the price to go up higher over time. Is it overextended on the weekly? No. Is it overextended on the monthly? No. It's just climbing along with the upper Bollinger Band. All of these are very, very healthy bull trend. A couple of other things I think somebody asked about IONQ. The thing about this stock is you have a very, very high volume candle over here for the monthly, and you have broken above the 20-month moving average, which was previously resistance, right? Now you're turning it to support. Guess exactly where it got rejected at the upper Bollinger Band here on the monthly, right? I mean, I'm not making any of this up, right? On the weekly, why are you getting rejected? Well, because you're way outside the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly here. Does it mean that things are going to go down? Well, not necessarily. I think it's just probably need to cool down here a little bit. But this whole thing here, just looking at monthly, has finally flipped it from like a negative sloping here to positive sloping, and the 20-month moving average is finally flipped from negative to positive sloping here. So I can keep going, but unless you guys want to talk about like levels and things like that, I can keep going and address the other chart requests. But
keep going. Just make sure to breathe.
By the way, Candy's also sells micro machines to Cantonese.
If you want to do a Fibonacci, I actually had these like breakdown of these. I charted this a long time ago. These are like some ruins that I've left behind. So I actually thought this was like a descending triangle. Is bearish. It broke down, right, and then it basically tests like 0.136 here, and now it's trying to push through. Like if it's able to close the month above the 0.382, I think it's going to be very, very bullish. This big giant volume candle here is the support for that. But most likely it's probably going to end up maybe cooling down here, maybe hovering around like $15 for a little while. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Ultimately, there's a fundamental trend change here, and this is a little bit of a higher low over here compared to here too. So I'm not bearish on IONQ. Anyway, TMDX.
Look, it's got an all-time high of volume.
Yeah, it's got a lot of volume, and this also got a lot of volume here too on the TMDX. You have an all-time high volume here as well for the month, and it's a bearish candle. Came back close to gap over here. You would expect this monthly gap to be closed, and it's close, right? So that's kind of, I don't even have any like FIP levels to really draw. I guess I can draw like from here to here and see.
And somebody said it's a falling knife, but that's like the opposite. That's the opposite.
Actually, it hits right at the 0.786. This is this is like perfect back test of 0.786. So if you want to buy, like this is actually a good level to buy at. Higher highs, higher lows. Yeah.
Well, I know some people that bought that today, me included.
Yeah, beautiful.
Me too.
So you bought it. Yeah, you bought the 0.786. And the only thing I'm a little bit concerned is underneath a 20 and 20. I don't like 20 turning from positive to flat. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But it could be just a back test, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, this is a very, if you're bullish on this stock, high volume capitulation right into 0.786.
I'm gonna go next.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone asked for
you take
GENI.
over. I'm gonna breathe now. Go for it.
Okay, you breathe. I got a request for GENI twice, and so I had no chart for it. I drew this just a minutes ago, and it's going to retrace back to the 100% all-time high of $25.18 from the low of 220. And I'm looking at all this action that's taken place around the 236. Normally it would go 382, 236, 618, but just looking back through this chart, I think after building all the support, it's going to run up to the 50% fib. It'll go up one fib higher. So I'm looking for 1369 to 1098, and then 1976, and then maybe back to 1640, maybe back to halfway between 1640, about 15-ish dollars, and then it goes up again, and then it'll retest the all-time high and go higher, maybe there if it's going to be this bullish. Yeah, this looks good for, like, the earnings is coming up, so maybe earnings will propel it to this 382. Maybe it hangs around the 382 for a little while before it pushes up to the 50 and then tests back to the 382 and then can go higher. The market was really liking it just a few weeks ago. Just lately, it's just been kind of like hanging out with retail here. IONQ, I really like this stock for it's a quantum computing play, right? They're working on quantum computers. I have my target is 1959 next, with a test back to the 382 here at 1573, because we kind of went up, did a quick test back, but maybe it gets to here and then does one more test back. Yeah. I mean, it could possibly go 618 then 50, but I think it'll do 1959 back to 1573 and then propels it higher to retest the all-time high. Like this one, I'm really bullish on this. Instead of just going to the 764, maybe we just do the 764 at 2820, does a little consolidation, and then retest the all-time high. But once we have, I mean, really, I could do the fib extension from here to here to here, and then skip ahead and just say my ultimate target next is $50.43. When it breaks through this all-time high, it'll hit 50.43 for the top of the 5-wave cycle, consolidate, and then maybe keep going. I'm definitely building a nice position in IONQ. What else do we got?
You want to? Yeah, I don't think we can take any more requests anymore because it's 9:30.
It's been 2 hours.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, but yeah.
I will just say that Wolf Speed, WOLF, not to be confused with WULF, has a really nice looking bounce back chart. There is so much potential gain here that I like a small position in it no matter what. And lately, it's been looking pretty good on this chart. I know. Howl at the moon. Yeah, I made a nice little W here. W for winning. I did this, and that, and then here's the little wick, and then off it goes. I love these W's. Oh, no. I'm a wolf man. All right, so we want...
we got the music pushing us off. Oh, no.
I know. We're being called away, guys. Sorry,
it's the award-winning speech music.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say, if we didn't get to your request, I have a subscription on X. It's only $2. It's so cheap, and I've got almost all these charts with my price targets, my shorter-term price targets. Matt and Kat have like the best. They're like calm you down, and they have like the best long-term targets you could ever ask for. I kind of try to give you the short-term price targets. So subscribe to me here on X. It's only $2. I'm at. Where's it? Oh, I hear the music playing me off the stage. But,
It's gonna get louder.
This is my handle at SBZUNG on X. So follow me, subscribe, and you can have access to all my charts on this great spreadsheet. And Matt has also got a fantastic subscription on Patreon. And Kat, what are you doing for money these days? Are you going to do your YouTube thing? He's going to sing meow meow meow. All right, thank you guys so much. Kat, take us out.
Everybody, have a good night.
Yes, have a good night, guys.
All right, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming.
Yep. Bye.
Bye. Bye.